Hello. All right, so we're in lesson 15 with Brother Lawrence, and I'm going to continue reading from his letter. He says, I have quit all forms of devotions and set prayers, but those to which my state obliges me, and I make it my business only to stay in God's presence, wherein I keep myself by a simple attention and a general passionate love to God, which I would call an actual presence of God, or to speak better, an habitual, silent, and secret conversation of the soul with God, which often causes in me joys and raptures inwardly and sometimes also outwardly, so great that I'm forced to use means to moderate my behavior and prevent their appearance to others. So he's saying that he was so in love with God and spending time with God, and God would give him such a great feeling of joy and love and peace that he had difficulty sometimes keeping himself from jumping or showing an outward appearance of this great joy that was filling him up. Because see, we have to be moderate and we have to be consistent and look peaceful to people. If we start jumping out in the middle of a store, they're not going to see God. They're going to think that we're a lunatic. And that's why he was saying that it was such joy. He just wanted to scream, to shout, to jump, but he doesn't want to offend, just like it says in the Bible. Paul says that we must be careful not to offend others. Jesus was a very calm man, except when he got angry at the money changers. Then he was quite strong and, cleaned out that house pretty quick. But other than that, what we see of him in the Bible is he was always consistent. He was loving. He was caring. He gave out a feeling of trust. People came to him. Children came to him. And that's what we need to give. And if we do feel that great joy inside of us, if we start jumping around, people will not feel safe around us. And that's why we must contain ourselves. Unless we're with other believers who are at the same stage of their walk with God, and then they will understand and they'll probably jump with you. He goes on to say, my soul has been with God above these 30 years, and I don't tell a whole lot of this stuff so that I don't bore you, but I think it's proper to inform you after what manner I consider myself in front of God, who I see as my King. I consider myself the most wretched of man, full of sores and corruption, and who has committed all sorts of crime against his King. Touched with a sensible regret, I confess to him all my wickedness. I ask his forgiveness. I abandon myself in his hands, that he may do what he pleases with me. But this King, full of mercy and goodness, very far from chastising me, embraces me with love, makes me eat at his table, serves me with his own hands, gives me the key of his treasures. He converses and delights himself with me incessantly, in 1,000 ways, and treats me in all respects as his favorite. This is how I see myself from time to time in his holy presence. My most usual method is this: simple attention and a general passionate regard to God, to whom I find myself often attached with greater sweetness and delight than that of a child at his mother's breast. If sometimes my thoughts wander from God by necessity or infirmity, I am presently recalled by inward motions, so charming and delicious that I'm ashamed to mention them. And that's where I want to be. I want to be where I might be working and forgot about God, and all of a sudden God just, pushes me inside my heart and says, hey, Nat, I love you. And when we get to that spot, it's such sweetness. It's so much love. I guess a good example would be if you received a telephone call from someone who you haven't heard from in a long time, and they tell you all this good news, and they tell you that they're coming to see you soon, and that then you're looking forward to seeing them. I mean, it's sweetness. It's goodness. That's the type of thing that we get from God. That's the feelings. Now, I had someone who asked me, they said that they keep doubting about God. And it's actually in the Bible about the wind. That God's Spirit is like the wind. And it says, the wind blows where it goes, and you hear the sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from and where it goes. And this is how it is with everyone born in the Spirit. So, yes, sometimes maybe you get doubts, maybe I get doubts because we don't feel that wonderful sweetness. But that's where our trust comes. That's where our loyalty of our heart, that's when that comes out. And we stand up and we say, no, we believe in God. We are God's children. So I'm going to leave you with that today. That remember simple attention and loving God, just thinking loving thoughts about Him. That's what gives us peace. That's what puts us in His holy presence. And I wish you all a beautiful day, morning, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.